Hello everyone, I'm Rich Nance with your Defensive Tactics Technique of the Week. Today we're going to be looking at in-hand handgun retention. All right, we're going to be using a demonstration gun here. Obviously there's no live weapons here. We're going to practice something that is not practiced enough, and that is when you have your gun in hand. It could be that you're searching around a corner and someone grabs the gun, whatever the case is. But you need to maintain possession of this. You need to have a fail-safe method to maintain possession of your handgun when it's grabbed outside of the holster. The shoot 'em off approach, I'll just shoot him. Not necessarily. One of the things is if Frank grabs the gun and redirects the muzzle towards someone who's uninvolved over there, well, just shooting him isn't going to do anything except injure potentially or kill a third party who's uninvolved. So that's not a fail-safe method. Shooting him may be the answer, but it's not necessarily the answer. Another problem is when he grabs, doing a technique like driving the gun up. That's what I was taught. You got to grab it the other way for this to work.
Oh,
so
there
you go.
way?
When you grab that way, this driving the muzzle up works pretty well. But the problem is, again, you have to have a fail-safe method that works regardless of whether he's grabbing with one hand or two, regardless if his thumbs are on top or below. So grab this any way you want, Frank. We're going to go real slow this time to demonstrate. If I push and then immediately pull the gun, it's going to have a tendency to wrench it free because as he's resisting me pushing it toward him, then about that time, I start pulling it away from him. So it's hard for him to resist both those simultaneously. What I'm going to do when my gun's grabbed is make sure it's oriented toward him. I'm going to drive forward with the gun, and I don't mean this. Okay, there's no body movement there. That's not going to do anything. So I can push-pull all day. Push-pull all day. But if I don't step forward and drive it into him, it's not going to be effective. So what I want to do is I want to step forward with this lunging step and try to drive the muzzle into him.
And for the sake of the video, I just got punched in the gut with the muzzle of this gun.
I always try to go slow just to let you get your guard down, and then I...
But even going slow, there's an impact. That's what I'm saying for the technique.
And then as I step away here, I'm going to pull and I'm going to twist this slightly. And that twist does a couple things. First of all, it helps to break his grip. It's actually twisting the gun in his hands. The front sight will also help to cause some pain that may help him release. So this in and of itself is a pretty good technique. The nice thing about this push, pull, and twist technique is like if it doesn't work the first time, if you do it again, you'll have a better chance of it eventually because it's a tug of war. And eventually, since you have a superior grip on the weapon, you're holding the part that you're intended to hold, you're going to have a better chance of success. But I add one more technique to this just in case that push-pull doesn't work. Maybe you have hands that are the size of catcher's mitts, or you're 6'4" and I'm 5'2". There you go. So again, when the gun is grabbed here, it doesn't matter how he grabs it, what I'm going to do is drive in and I'm going to pull and twist, but maybe I've tried it 2 or 3 times, it's not working. Now I'm going to pry the gun from his hand. I'm going to use my hand up here, and what I'm going to do is step this way, and with this hand, I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull the gun back. So I'm going to push and pull here. Now I can shoot from this retention position if I need to, but keep in mind an important point. Anytime we're wrestling for possession of this gun, very high likelihood that it's going to be rendered out of battery. So a better approach probably is when I get that gun free, by prying this out here, I'm going to create distance, tap, rack, and assess. Let's show you this technique from a different angle. So he's grabbed my gun. I'm going to drive in. I'm going to pull out. It doesn't work. Still got it. I'm going to put my arm here. I'm going to step this way. Now watch. Down, and you notice I'm trying not to muzzle myself. Sometimes in the dynamics of an encounter, it will happen. That's why your finger needs to be off the trigger. But here, down. And I'm coming here, push off, tap, rack, and assess.